So a couple days ago, we heard the story that the Pixel 9 series of devices was going to be announced a little early this year, and it seems like we've gotten now, a couple days later, we've gotten the reveal, I guess you could say, an actual unit out in the wild. I'm going to give full credit to this person. We're going to put up his Twitter and all the rest of it. We're going to use those images. I would say it wasn't exactly a James Bond operation, though. It looks like this gentleman just walked up to a kiosk in Algeria, and they were just... I don't know. I don't understand. If Google were a boat with these leaks, it would sink about 3 feet from dry dock. I don't understand how there's just Pixel 9s just chilling out there somewhere. But anyway, all right, let's talk about it, though. Put up the design, put up the shot, and this is this person's tweet. You could see, I mean, some people are going to complain and say, oh, it's an iPhone ripoff, all the rest of it with these kind of squared off or the flat edges, I should say. They are rounded corners, but you have kind of flat actual edges in the frame of the device. I think the color looks good. I understand the hue is not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I actually like the vibrancy and the saturation of the color. I like the design. I like the new camera bar. You know, we're going to be fairly positive about Google here, so, you know, check your local weather for temperatures, but I really like it overall. I think it's a sharp-looking phone. The question for me is a few different things. Looks like a glass back. Was super glossy, so that's regrettable that they've kind of gone back to the gloss on there. We're not going to get the matte finish, or maybe we do on the Pro models. That looked like the Pixel 9, so it seems like we're going to get the kind of glossy, either plastic or it looked like glass, looked very shiny like glass on the back of that device. Now, that's the Pixel 9. You can tell kind of from the camera that there's only the two lenses there, so that's going to be thoroughly in Pixel 9 territory. So now, is that the Pixel 8a replacement? Is that what would have been the Pixel 9a later next year? Is that kind of going to be that device that is the cheapest model that they're going to release? Interesting. If that's the Pixel 9, meaning to replace the 9A, that's fairly premium. That's a lot more premium than I thought they would go. I figured they'd continue with some sort of frosted matte plastic on the back of the cheapest device and then reserve the glass for the 2 Pro models, which would be the more premium devices that they'd have in the lineup. So more questions than answers by seeing it. You know, how premium is this thing going to be? You know, is it going to be aggressive sales that make it kind of an A-series competitor into next year? Or is it something that, you know, Pixel's going to have a $700 device on launch, then the $800 device, and then, you know, the $900 or $1,000 device in the Pro model as well. So there's a lot of things that I think they have to sort out here. But I do like overall, the design language I like. You know, I kind of was okay with this design language here. I don't love it, but I could at least see them going in a direction. Here was a coherent direction, so that's pretty cool. And it's going to be personal preference whether you like kind of that squared off design or not along the frame. I happen to like it. I think it looks premium. I think it looks good. I think it gives you a nice flat display on the front. And I don't know if there's a way to eliminate bezels, but it kind of makes the bezels less dramatic when there's that flat edge because you don't have this kind of rounded part into there. So all the bezel police out there can calm down by if they make them the bezels a little bit smaller by that design. But I like it. I got to say, you know, overall, I think it's a good upgrade. I think they've kind of been moving in this direction. I'm a little shocked that they didn't give this, the 8 Pro design, a little bit more time. I was kind of a little surprised that they moved away from it and moved into a flat design. They're keeping the visor, though. That seems to be the design language element that they're going to keep and they're going to move forward is going to be that visor. So that's interesting if they do that. Look, we talked about this last week. Whatever you want to do with design is fine. Obviously, you can't make it a disaster. Looks good. Coherent design. You're going to have the early announcement. You're going to have the full lineup of devices, hopefully, at the same time. You're going to be announcing 4 models. You're going to be announcing the Pixel Fold. You're going to be announcing the 9, which hopefully is the A-series replacement, then the 9 Pro, then the 9 Pro XL. If you do that, if you keep it coherent, if you kind of have a design language that you then follow, this is the reset that we're talking about. This is the reset that we were going to give Google by saying, look, we're willing to, some of you may not be, and perfectly understandable if you say you're done with the company, you don't want to deal with Google anymore. But I'm willing to say, okay, look, here's the complete reset. We botched a lot that we've been doing. You know, we've had bright points like the 8 Pro. We've had kind of odd hiccups like the 8A, which were decent hardware-wise, but just didn't fit into the lineup, obviously, and you're essentially canceling them 3 months after they came out. So a lot of weird bits. All right, but we're willing to put the past behind us. We're willing to give you a fresh opportunity here to make good. One last chance, as I mentioned in the video the other day. So if they stay the course, so far so good. We've had the first piece. Well, the first piece was the leak saying they're going to be releasing these devices early, or at least announcing them early. That's good. Put them on par with, the other releases for the year. You could at least get ahead of the iPhone if that's your goal, and you could kind of give us something to talk about in the late summer, early fall. So that's something interesting there. But now we've had the second bit, which they seem to have passed. I like the design. It looks pretty good. I like the color. That's the one thing. If Google's staying consistent with something, despite all the frustrations, it's been the colors. They're one of the few manufacturers that really puts the pigment back in these devices. I think the blue is gorgeous. I love the mint color. The coral phones last year were just on the 7A was just absolutely gorgeous. Now I like the pink. So just keep coming with those designs. Keep coming with the pigmentation. Step 1 was design. Past that. Step 2 is going to be the actual announcement, pricing, release, then sticking to the plan. And it's a long-term thing. It's going to take a year or two to really rebuild that trust in the brand. So, but you're going to have these benchmarks along the way. You're going to have these posts along the way. So far, 2 for 2. They've listened with the lineup, so we think. Designs looking pretty good. Now we'll see down the line. It will be interesting to see what they do with pricing. It will be interesting to see, because they can't, you can't have a device like that that's super premium and then come out with it, premium looking, but $699. That doesn't replace the A series device. That doesn't make any sense. So, I like the whole lineup at once, the whole announcements at once, but there's still work to be done there. But hopefully, it's a premium-looking device. It's a good-looking device. But hopefully that Pixel 9 doesn't come in at like $700 if it is indeed meant to be an A-series replacement, because that would just kind of set Google back. So all that goodwill that they will have built up by then will be completely evaporated. So that's something to look forward to. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. It's definitely the cheaper one because it's got the 2 lenses. But how cheap is it going to be? Looks awfully good for $500 if it is an A-series replacement. Can Google do that? Maybe they could come out with a super premium mid-range, say $600. Then you can have the Pixel 9 Pro rather, $800, and then your other one at $1,000, and then you can have the super premium Fold being $1,500, $1,600, $1,700, whatever they come up with that. That's interesting. I think they might get a pass for that. I think that's something they can maybe get away with, because then you're going to have, as the year goes on, you're going to have more aggressive sales on the Pixel 9. So you can kind of weather and stomach that price point. For releases, it's $599, but it looks like that, and it's good, and it's got a glass back, and it's got all the performance and the Tensor G4. You can have that, because then the sale was what, $450 throughout the year, $400, and guess what? You're not eating into your own sales because all the devices came out at once, and you're going to have a Pixel 9 Pro that's enough of a gap difference price-wise that it doesn't eat into sales, so you don't have to worry about it. Amazing what a little marketing savvy can do. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that delicious day.